instigated. This was just a response to something they did.
China has vowed not to back down against President Donald Trump's threat to impose 100% tariffs on Chinese goods, escalating tensions in the already fragile US-China trade relationship. China has firmly responded to President Trump's threat of 100% tariffs, signaling it will not back down and urging the US to resolve differences through dialogue rather than coercion. The Chinese Commerce Ministry said Sunday,
China's stance is consistent. We do not want a tariff war, but we are not afraid of one. Frequently resorting to the threat of high tariffs is not the correct way to get along with China. If the US side obstinately insists on its practice, China will be sure to resolutely take corresponding measures to safeguard its legitimate rights and interests.
China controls nearly 70% of global rare earth mining and 90% of processing. Its new export rules require foreign companies to obtain approval even for devices containing trace amounts of these minerals, giving Beijing leverage over key sectors of global manufacturing. Trump defended his tariffs as a response, not an instigation. They have a lot of Boeing planes, and they need parts and lots of things like that, he said.
We were just surprised that China have a very good relationship with President Xi, and they did that. This is not something that I, instigated. This was just a response to something that they did, and they didn't really aim it at us. They aimed it at the whole world. The whole world is subject to it. So I thought it was very, very bad. But we have many things, including a big thing is airplane. They have a lot of Boeing planes, and they need parts and lots of things like that.
China, meanwhile, criticized US restrictions on Chinese airlines, warning they harm both countries and make global consumers pay the price.
The restrictions imposed by the United States on the operations of Chinese airlines are not conducive to personnel exchanges between the two countries. We suggest that the U.S. should reflect on the impact of its own policies on its own companies, rather than unreasonably suppressing other countries and making global consumers pay the price.
The standoff threatens to derail a planned Trump-Xi meeting at the Asia-Pacific Summit and could reignite a full-scale trade war, disrupting global supply chains. Analysts note China's deliberate long-term strategy contrasts with the US's more transactional approach.
We're playing 2D chess while Beijing is playing 4D chess.
Despite the escalation, Beijing signaled openness to dialogue through export control mechanisms aimed at stabilizing global industrial and supply chains. With US tariffs set for November 1st and Chinese export rules for December 1st, the coming weeks could prove decisive for both economies and the global tech sector.